Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Customs. What updates does she have about recent drug seizures at the border?
The Honourable Casey Costello.
Mr Speaker, Customs continues to make significant seizures at the border. So far this year, 1.2 tonnes of methamphetamine were intercepted onshore, while 1.7 tonnes intercepted offshore. Internationally, Customs is working closely with its offshore partners and has been very effective at targeting and intercepting significant quantities of drugs, both very large intercepts as well as the smaller packages intercepted on a daily basis. Currently, around half of drug seizures destined for New Zealand are made before they reach our border. In collaboration with New Zealand Police, Customs have had a number of successes in dismantling organised crime groups, arresting key members and ensuring they will face justice. Preventing drugs arriving in our community has prevented massive social harm and cost to New Zealand. This government is committed to being tough on crime, ensuring our communities are safe and offenders face consequences for the harm they cause.
Supplementary question. What methods are criminals using to try and evade interception?
Mr Speaker, transnational organised crime groups use all manner of concealment methods to try and evade customs border security measures across air, sea and freight imports pathways. When transnational organised crime groups continue to target New Zealand through high volume attempted imports through mail, we are now seeing more sophisticated deep hides in, for example, industrial machinery and in and around maritime vessels. Transnational organised crime groups also exploit the legitimate supply chain using trusted insiders with privileged access to systems in order to circumvent border controls.
There have been any number of conversations going on while questions are being asked. That's not acceptable, so we'll just wait till those conversations finish. And of course, those involved in those conversations can't even hear what's being said.
Supplementary question.
Right.
Yes. Has there been a shift in how criminal groups are attempting to bring drugs into New Zealand?
Mr Speaker, transnational organised crime groups are determined in their attempts to infiltrate the import-export supply chain. They actively recruit workers on ports and within airport facilities, known as trusted insiders, to manipulate the movement of goods, circumvent customs controls and work with external criminal groups to smuggle prohibited drugs into our communities. The emergence of RIP methods that involve trusted insider elements at both the originator and New Zealand port premises, placing and removing prohibited goods from containers before they are subject to customs processes, is an ongoing challenge to customs border security role and highlights the importance of customs overseas postings and partnerships.
Supplementary question. What work is underway seeking to make it harder for organised crime groups to operate in New Zealand?
Mr Speaker, transnational organised crime groups represent a significant threat to New Zealand and pile misery into our communities, not only through drugs, but through activities like fraud, migrant exploitation and tax evasion. These groups are sophisticated businesses that operate across crime types and borders. This means we need a strategic, coordinated response to detect and disrupt these groups' activities. While we have good foundations to build on, I believe more could be done to join up efforts across government to tackle the interconnected nature of offending that transnational organised crime groups present. That is why I'm progressing work that aims to strengthen operational responsiveness across government and update the transnational organised crime strategy. It is critical that we have the tools and operational processes to detect, prevent and dismantle organised crime in New Zealand, and I expect to be able to make further announcements before the end of this year.